One day, while in the company of the prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, we were gathered at the house of a family, forming a complete group. Someone knocked on the door and requested permission to enter, mentioning that they had a request and a matter to discuss. At that moment, all eyes turned towards the face of the prophet, who was always the center of attention. From him emanated the authorization. The prophet understood the context and asked us if we knew who the requester was. We all responded at the same time. Allah and his prophet know best. The prophet declared, "It is the fool, the adversary of Allah, the devil, upon whom the curse of Allah falls." Omar, without delay, exclaimed, "O Messenger of Allah, let me finish him off." However, the prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, did not give him permission and responded, "Wait, Omar. Do you not remember that he has a deadline until a certain date? Abandon the idea of killing him." Then he said, "Open the door for him. He has come by mandate. Try to understand his words. Listen carefully to what he is going to reveal." When the door was opened, he entered, appearing before us as a bald old man, with 6 or 7 hairs hanging from his beard, resembling those of a horse. His eyes looked up high, with a head as big as that of an elephant and lips resembling those of a buffalo. He greeted us saying, "Greetings to you, O Muhammad. Greetings to you, congregation of Muslims." Upon this greeting, the prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, responded, "Greetings are for Allah. Be cursed." Then he asked, "What have you come for?" The devil explained, "It was not of my own will. I have been forced to come here." Intrigued, the prophet inquired about who had forced him. The devil recounted that an angel from his exalted Lord had appeared to him and ordered him, "Allah the Most High commands you to present yourself before Muhammad in a state of humility and sincerity, to reveal how you have deceived the sons of Adam, to tell the whole truth, and to answer honestly. Allah has decreed, if you lie, if you do not speak the truth, I will turn you into ashes. I will scatter you like the wind before your enemies. You will become their mockery. Therefore, O Muhammad, I have been commanded to come to you. Ask whatever questions you wish. If I do not respond adequately, I will be the subject of ridicule among my enemies. There is no greater shame than being ridiculed by enemies." The prophet then asked the following question, "Tell me, since you are going to be truthful, who is the person you hate the most?" The devil replied, "You, O Muhammad. Of all Allah's creatures, no one do I hate more than you." Then the prophet inquired, "And who is the next whom you hate and have animosity towards?" The devil responded, "To a devout young man who has dedicated his entire life to obeying the voice of Allah." Continuing, the prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, asked another question, and the devil responded, "And then, whom do you not tolerate?" He replied, "A poor and patient man who never discloses his needs nor complains." The prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, interrogated, "How do you then note he is patient?" The devil explained, "O Muhammad, he does not share his needs with anyone, and whoever exposes them to others for 3 consecutive days is not considered patient by Allah. Indeed, I can discern his patience by his situation, his behavior, and his reluctance to complain." The prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, continued, "And then, whom else?" The devil replied, "One who is rich and gives thanks." The prophet inquired, "How do you recognize he is grateful?" The devil explained, "I notice it when I observe how he invests his wealth with honesty and distributes it properly. Then I understand that he is a grateful rich man." Then the prophet changed the subject and asked, "What do you feel when my community stands up to pray?" The devil responded, "O Muhammad, I shudder as if I were suffering from malaria. I tremble." The prophet asked, "Why does it affect you in that way?" The devil explained, "Because every time a servant bows before Allah, he is elevated 1 degree." The prophet continued, "And what do you feel when they fast?" The devil affirmed, "During that time, I am chained until they break the fast." Then he asked, "And your sensation during the pilgrimage?" The devil declared, "There I literally lose my head." The prophet inquired, "And what happens when they recite the Quran?" The devil admitted, "At that moment, I melt as if I were lead melted by fire." Finally, the prophet inquired, "And your feelings when they give charity?" The devil recounted, "At those moments, my condition becomes extremely difficult. It is as if someone were sawing me in two." The prophet questioned, "Why do you feel split like that?" The devil responded, "Allow me to explain." And he began to relate, "Because charity brings 4 benefits. Allah the Most High grants blessings to the donor. Charity makes the individual beloved by his community. Allah the Most High establishes a veil between that person and hellfire, and Allah the Most High delivers him from trials, adversities, and afflictions." After this, the prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, inquired about his companions. "What do you think of Abu Bakr?" The devil replied, "He never followed me, not even in the time of ignorance. How could he follow me after his conversion to Islam?" The prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, asked, "And what do you say about Umar ibn al-Khattab?" The devil answered, "I assure you by Allah that every time I saw him, I would run away." The prophet then asked, "And about Uthman ibn Affan?" The devil responded, "I am ashamed in front of him. Even the compassionate angels feel ashamed of him." Continuing, the prophet asked, "What about Ali ibn Abi Talib?" The devil expressed, "Ah, how I wish I could avoid him. If I could separate myself from him, if he would leave me alone, I would leave him alone. But he does not cease to pursue me." The prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, concluded, "Praise be to Allah, who has granted happiness to my community and has kept you in defiance until a predetermined time." Upon hearing this, the devil exclaimed, "Woe is me! Where is the happiness of the community while I am alive? Until that predetermined time, how can you feel secure for your community? I penetrate their veins, I merge with their flesh, and yet they do not perceive my presence nor know it. By Allah, who has created me and granted me respite until the day of judgment, I will mislead them all, the ignorant and the wise, the illiterate and the literate, the wicked and the virtuous. In short, none of them can escape me. However, the truly devout servants of Allah, no, I cannot mislead them." The prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, then asked, "According to you, who are those sincere and devout servants?" The devil explained, "Do you not know, O Muhammad, that whoever loves their wealth of gold and silver does not possess sincerity towards Allah? When I see someone who is not attached to either money or praise, then I recognize their sincerity and leave them alone. A person who worships their wealth and seeks praise remains attached to their worldly desires as long as their love for these things persists, and they are among those who follow me the most." The devil further explained that he has 70,000 offspring, each with a specific task, and each offspring in turn commands 70,000 demons. Different demons are assigned to different groups, some to the wise, others to the young, and others to the elderly. Regarding the young, he mentioned that they relate well to them, and with the children, they play at their whim. Some demons are in charge of the worshippers, others of the merchants, infiltrating among them, and leading them from one state to another until they blaspheme, thus depriving them of their sincerity. Subsequently, the devil recounted the story of a monk who had been deceived, saying, "Do you not know, O Muhammad, that the monk Barsisa worshipped Allah sincerely for 70 years? After these acts of devotion, he had reached such a level of sincerity that every healing prayer he made was answered. I was always by his side. He committed adultery, he committed a murder, and finally he renounced his faith. It is of him that Allah, the Most High, speaks thus in the noble Quran. They are like Satan when he says to man, 'Disbelieve.' But when he disbelieves, he says, 'I am disassociated from you. I fear Allah, the Lord of the worlds.'" That's how the argument of the wicked seemed true to him. Then the devil focused on some of the human vices and explained how he takes advantage of them. Lying. Do you not know, O Muhammad, that lying is part of me and that I was the first liar? Whoever lies becomes my friend. Whoever falsely swears in the name of Allah becomes my beloved. Do you not know, O Muhammad, that I swore to Adam and Eve a false oath in the name of Allah? I told them, indeed, I advise you. I did that because I appreciate lying. Slander. As for slander and espionage, they are also my fruits and my joy. Divorce oath. Whoever swears on divorce should fear that they are sinful, whether it is once or for something true. Whoever pronounces the word of divorce makes his wife unlawful until the truth is established. In this state, the children they will have until the day of judgment will all be illegitimate because of that word of divorce pronounced. They will all go to hell because of that word. Prayer. As for the person who delays their prayer, let me explain how I act. Every time they try to get up to pray, I catch them and whisper to them, "It's not time yet. You're busy now. Attend to your affairs for the moment. You can pray later." Thus, they delay their prayer outside the appropriate time, and therefore, their prayer is rejected. If this person persists and is consistent in prayer, I send a human demon to prevent them from praying on time. If they still overcome me, then I seek to disturb their concentration during prayer. I whisper to them, "Look to the right, look to the left." If they obey, I stroke their face, kiss them on the forehead, and then say to them, "You've done something very wrong." Thus, I disturb their peace of mind. You also know, O Muhammad, that whoever looks too much to the right and left during prayer, Allah does not accept their prayer. If I am still defeated, I go to them when they pray alone, and I order them to hurry. Then they start praying quickly, like a rooster scratching the ground looking for something. If I still fail, when they pray in congregation, I stand by their side, put a cloth over their head before the imam, and make them raise their head from sujud and ruku before the imam. If this fails, I urge them to do sujud and ruku before the imam. That is why on the day of judgment, Allah will transform their head into the head of a donkey. If this person even overcomes me in this, I command them to snap their fingers during prayer, unknowingly becoming one of those who glorify me.